Hello everyone, welcome back to MoodleClicks. I'm really happy to see you here again. In our previous video, we learned how to bulk create courses in Moodle using a CSV file. And in today's video, we are going to learn how to add learning content using some of the most commonly used Moodle activities and resources. We will also learn how to configure course completion so Moodle can automatically track student progress and mark the course as completed when all required activities are finished. I'll explain everything step by step in a very simple and easy to understand way. For this tutorial, I'll use a sample course called Introduction to Web Development. I have already created the learning content, and in this video I'll walk you through each activity and resource one by one. So let's get started. Here we are on the Moodle dashboard. First let's open our course. As you can see, this course already contains different learning materials and activities for students. To make changes or add content in Moodle, we first need to enable edit mode from the top right corner. Once edit mode is enabled, you will notice several additional options appearing on the page. To quickly edit a section name or activity name, simply click the pen icon next to it. Enter the new name and press enter to save the changes. To add new content, click the plus icon and select activity or resource. This will open the activity chooser. Inside the activity chooser, you can see different Moodle activities and resources. For each activity or resource, you will also find an information icon. Clicking on it will display detailed information about that activity or resource. To add an activity or resource, simply select it and click Add. When creating activities, make sure to configure the completion conditions so teachers can track learner progress properly. Now, let me walk you through the content that I have already created inside this course. At the top, we have the course overview section. Here, students can see a short introduction about the course. To edit the content, click on the three-dot icon and select Edit Settings. Here in the text editor, you can edit or add content. Once you finish making changes, click Save Changes. Below that, we have Week 1 Getting Started with Web Development. Inside this section, the first resource is a page resource called What is Web Development? The page resource allows teachers to create content directly inside Moodle. Teachers can add text, lists, tables, images, and embedded media such as videos, maps, charts, or presentations. This is useful for presenting information that students can read online without downloading a file. In this example, students can learn the basics of web development, including the front-end and back-end technologies. To edit the content, click on the three-dot icon and select Edit Settings. Once you have made the necessary changes in the page content section, click Save and return to course. Next, we have a file resource called HTML Basics Notes. The file resource allows teachers to share files for students to view or download. Teachers can upload any type of digital file such as PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, images, audio, or videos. In this example, students can download and read HTML notes covering topics such as Introduction to HTML, tags and elements, headings and paragraphs, and lists and links. To edit the content, click on the three-dot icon and select Edit Settings. You can upload files in the Select Files area. Once you have uploaded the file, click Save and return to course. Next, we have a folder resource called Week 1 Learning Resources. The folder resource allows teachers to upload and organize multiple files inside one folder. Teachers can organize files in folders and subfolders, and students can also download the entire folder as a zip file. This is useful for sharing additional notes, practice files, images, code examples, or revision materials in one place. To add or remove files, click on the three dot icon and select Edit Settings. Under the Content selection, you can add files. To delete a file, click on the file and select Delete. Once we have made the changes, click Save and Return to course. Below that, we have a URL resource called Visit the W3 Schools HTML tutorial. The URL resource allows teachers to add a link to an external web page or an online file. This is useful for linking online articles, tutorials, videos, or other external learning materials. In this example, the students can open the W3 Schools website to practice HTML online. Next, we have an assignment activity called Create Your First Web Page. The assignment activity allows teachers to collect student submissions such as essays, reports, projects, or other coursework and provide feedback and grades. Teachers can provide instructions and requirements for the assignment, manage deadlines, and control whether late submissions are accepted. Students can submit files directly into Moodle or type their work into the online text editor. In this assignment, students need to create a simple HTML web page that includes a heading, two paragraphs, one image, and one hyperlink. Students can upload their HTML file directly into Moodle for submission. Next, we have a book resource called Web Development Fundamentals. The book resource allows teachers to organize and display content in a book-like format. Teachers can add text, images, videos, tables, and other embedded media across multiple chapters and subchapters. Students can navigate easily using the table of contents. This is useful for creating structured course materials that feel like an online textbook. To create or edit a chapter, open the book resource. On the right side, open the blog drawer where you will see the table of contents. Here you can reorder chapters using the arrow icons, edit chapters using the pen icon, delete chapters, hide chapters, or add new chapters using the plus icon. And finally, we have a feedback activity called Week 1 Student Feedback. The feedback activity allows teachers to create custom surveys using different question types. Teachers can build surveys using multiple choice questions, scales, and open text responses. Responses can be collected anonymously or with student names. This activity is useful for collecting student opinions, course feedback, or learning experiences. Now let's move to the most important part of this tutorial, course completion. Course completion helps Moodle automatically track student progress. When students complete all required activities and resources, Moodle can automatically mark the course as completed. First, let's check whether course completion tracking is enabled for the course. Go to Course Settings, scroll down to Completion Tracking. If it is already set to yes, leave it as it is. Otherwise, enable yes for completion tracking. Then save the changes. Now let's configure activity completion settings. I'll open one of the activities as an example. Scroll down to the activity completion section. By default, it will be set to none. Choose the second option. Students can manually mark the activity as completed if you want students to manually mark the activity as done. I recommend using the third option. This means the activity will automatically be marked as completed when students view the activity. Now save the changes. I have already configured completion settings for all the activities and resources in this course. Now let's configure the overall course completion settings. Go to the course menu, click on More, then click Course Completion. Here we can define different completion conditions. For this tutorial, we will continue with condition activity completion. Select the required activities and resources. For this tutorial, I am selecting all activities. Then save the changes. Perfect. Now Moodle will automatically track student progress throughout the course. As students complete each activity or resource, Moodle will automatically update the completion status. And once all required activities are completed, Moodle will mark the course as successfully completed. This feature is extremely useful for schools, colleges, universities, and corporate training programs and online learning platforms. It helps teachers monitor student progress very easily, and students can clearly see what they have completed and what is still pending. And that's it. You now know how to add learning content using common Moodle activities and resources and configure course completion in Moodle. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like, subscribe, and support the MoodleClicks channel for more Moodle tutorials and updates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.